appetite for 2 a days. Woke up with no plans, what I'ma do today. These are not the same, I got no shoes today. My baby missed me, wishing it was 2 of me. And I'm not fake, if I'm not, then what's the real deal? I've been up and down Pharaoh. Free on bro, you did a real kill. Off the liquor and some pill pills. I've been at it since a church. Work. Tell little baby, make it twerk. Twerk. Go crazy, go crazy. Bro, pass me the rock. I've been moving out the box. Top speed going top. 101 going pop. Getting hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Braun. Yeah. Make it some and I'll spend a song. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, nigga.
Notoriety Sports Network. Built different.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight? This is the Notary Uppercut right here on Notary Sports Network. I'm your host, John. As you can see, we're kind of a small crew tonight. It's basically me right now. I'm going to thank Nick for producing tonight. And by the way, congratulations, Nick, on your Astros making it to the World Series. But, guys, we have a lot to get to. And before I even get into that, if you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, hit the subscribe button, share this video. Let's get the word out there on this show. We actually have a guest coming on tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Orlando, the programming director from 94.3 The Shark right here on Long Island, will be joining us to preview Hope Rocks, which is, he'll explain it more when he comes on. He'll also talk some wrestling with us, so that'll be happening at 7:30. Just want to also explain some other things. Costa will be on with us. He just had something prior to the show tonight, so he should be on with us in a bit. The other two, Sai and Chi-Chi, had other things tonight, so they will not be able to be on with us tonight. So for right now, you got me. Like I said, we will have Orlando coming on at 7:30, and let's get right to it because holy crap, is there a lot of wrestling to get to. We have the fallout for you guys for Crown Jewel, which happened yesterday, which, I did see bits and pieces of it. I'll come out right away and say that. It was not your typical Saudi show. I remember they started these Saudi shows back in 2017. I think 2017 or 2016. I don't remember what year. I know it's been a couple of years now they've been doing this. And most of the time, these have basically been glorified house shows where basically the Saudi prince basically pays WWE a lot of money and basically controls how the matches are played out. Obviously, remember last year there was the whole debacle of the wrestlers being held hostage, but we were told, there was because I can figure out the camera angle right now. Airplane problems, if you remember that. So WWE was actually smart this year. And they didn't send everybody over there. They only brought over the people who were needed for the show. Years in the past, prior to this year, the entire company would go there with the exception of a few, i.e. Sami Zayn and all those. Like I said, most of the time, these Saudi shows were your typical house shows that nobody really gave a rat's ass about because it didn't really mean anything. But this year, holy moly, this year showed that WWE puts the work in, they can put on magic. I know we were on the air last week and we gave our predictions. And of course, as typical WWE fashion, they always like to announce a match right after I go off the air. It's happened notoriously. So let's get rolling now. We're going to look at the first match, which saw the Usos defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I want to make sure it's the SmackDown Tag Team titles here for a second. Yeah, it looks like the tag titles against the Hurt Business of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. For a pre-show match, we know the Usos are a good team. Shelton and Cedric coming back together is kind of interesting because it's all, from what reports have indicated, basically they came back together with Bobby as a way of saying thank you to Bobby for his run as WWE champion. Not a terrible tag match, but again, this was more on the Usos being the Usos here. It was a nice 10-minute match, so it wasn't bad. On the main card now, the fact that this match opened this card, to me, was insane. And I'm talking about Edge versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. We said that on here last week, folks. You have these two guys in Rollins and Edge who can both tell great stories, who both know storytelling, which if you listen to other podcasts, listen to other wrestling shows like Busted Open, the one comment they all say is storytelling seems to not exist anymore in the world of professional wrestling. These two guys told a story. And I'm glad for one other thing with this is that WWE actually used the Hell in a Cell for what it's meant for. And not just because, we have to use it because, we feel like it. They actually used it. It actually worked. Now, do I think this is the end of their storyline? Right now, yes. Do I think these two can go at it again down the road? Very possible. Maybe around WrestleMania. It's very possible. But I think for right now, I think this story is, and I'm always, for right now, I'm always saying that I think the story has more legs to it for one reason, of who won. I am a big proponent that I think Seth should have won. Because ultimately what you're doing with Seth not winning is you could have elevated him even more, because you could have easily done it. If I'm going to play Monday Morning Quarterback here for a second, you could have easily had Seth win, cut a promo on SmackDown and say, I'm the reason why you guys are never going to see Edge again. Make him feel more of a cocky heel than he's been. Not saying I don't think he doesn't get elevated now, being that he was in a phenomenal battle with Edge. On the flip side, where do you go with this now? Realistically, think about it this way. I don't think we see Edge again until the Rumble. And here's why. I understand you got Survivor Series coming up in a couple of weeks, and that tends to be, the quote-unquote, the big one for the fall, but I don't think we see Edge there. Give Edge time to rest. Give him time to heal up. Let Seth go after Big E for the WWE title. Oh, excuse me. And then on the flip side, then we have what's his face, Edge come back at the Rumble. Because I think that, especially with the Rumble being in St. Louis this year and going to be probably their biggest arena to date that holds, the amount of fans that they do, well, I don't see that being a problem. I don't see it being a problem. I don't see it being an issue. I think it's going to be something regarding this with these two. These two can go at it forever. After that, we had Mansoor taking on Mustafa Ali. Again, this was a match you knew was going to happen. They pretty much, Mansoor is basically the Undertaker when it comes to Saudi Arabia. The guy will never lose. He's the hometown boy. And if you remember, folks, that's where WWE found him. I think it was last year's Crown Jewel or the year before. Coming out of that, we had RK Bro taking on the team of AJ Styles and Omos. First thing I gotta say, Matt Riddle comes out on a freaking camel. Are you shitting me right now? Seriously. That sight to behold, that was a sight to behold. And Match itself, it was a good match. I mean, RK Bro is something that is really starting. They're really becoming a good act right now, and they are, they're a good act. They're really coming together. And I know there was reports coming out after the draft that they wanted to split up Styles and Almas. Realistically, you don't have to split them up, but you also don't have to keep them in the tag division. You can have Styles go back into singles competition. Just have Almas be his bodyguard, basically be his heater. Go back to the days when Michaels had Diesel, and or as other people know him as Kevin Nash. It's the exact same thing. You can have Almas be the bodyguard and kind of use him for his side, which, I'm curious here, how tall is this dude? He's billed at 7'3". Okay, most wrestlers are not that tall. So you can keep them together, but you don't have to keep them as in the tag team division. Yes, I am aware the tag team division is kind of tight right now, to say the least. But you don't have to keep them in the tag division together. I mean, you can easily start pushing your actual tag teams. I mean, this match, it was a good match. I think eventually you're going to see, my guess, if I had to put this into a prediction, my guess would be Randy turns on Matt. Not saying it's going to happen soon, because like I said, you have legs to this act and legs to this story. But I would say sense it to happen towards the end of this year, early next year, where you start to see the dissension. You see Orton turns on Riddle, or even vice versa. Riddle will turn on Orton. And you can have Riddle turn around and say, look, I get the fact we were tag champions, but I'm not a tag team wrestler. I'm a singles guy. And yes, you brought me to heights I didn't think I was going to ever get to. And lo and behold, we got there. But you can't keep... My big issue with the WWE is when they take these singles stars who are poised for a singles run and turn around and automatically set them into a tag team. Why are you going to do that? Riddle is somebody who can be on his own. The guy can talk. He has the it factor. Obviously, yes, working with Orton right now isn't hurting him at all, because Orton is somebody who has definitely elevated him to that next level. Overall, I can see something happen there. Let's keep it going here. Next up, we have Selena Vega taking on Doudrop for the Queen's Crown Finals. This match, we were talking about on the show the last couple of weeks. The matches leading up to this, WWE treated like a damn joke. I mean, you were giving these girls, 2-3 minutes on SmackDown and Raw? And on this night, you gave them 5 minutes. Again, you give these girls 2-3 minutes. And don't get me wrong, the match was great. It was hard-hitting. It was great. But you only gave them 5 minutes. You could have cut the next match down a couple of minutes. And the next match is a match I know one person who's actually producing the show was really looking forward to. But, I mean, the fact that you have Selena Vega now as your new queen of the ring. Sorry, WWE. I'm not calling it the Queen's Crown. I think that's idiotic, in my opinion. It kind of shows where she's come from. This is a woman who last year got released by the WWE because she wanted them to get unionized. Then all of a sudden she comes back when everybody thought she was going to be AEW with her husband there, Malachi Black. Everybody thought she was coming back. And it was weird. She came back, Aleister Black left. Then also we had the issue a couple weeks ago at the September 11th SmackDown. And we're now being joined by our co-host. Not to say I don't like talking to myself for 10 minutes, but it's nice to have somebody else on the show. Costa, what's going on, buddy?
Everything's good, boss. Everything's good. How are you?
Doing good. Just talking some Crown Jewel. Let me get your overall take on it. What do you think of the card itself?
Hey, man, I thought that it was pretty good for the backlash that Crown Jewel usually gets every year. I thought this year was pretty good, man. It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that's the one thing I was saying before. Crown Jewel has been around now for 3 years. Let me just double check. I think it's been 3 years.
I think so. 2018, I believe. Yes. I think so.
And it seems like every year, and I was saying this before you hopped on, Crown Jewel to me always seemed to be looked at as a glorified house show.
Right.
And it always seemed like, okay, well, this is what the Prince wants. This is what he's going to get.
Right.
And it seemed like all of a sudden this year, it seemed like WWE actually realized from their mistakes and decided, let's not, for lack of better terms, fuck this up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you saw, like, I don't know if you remember last year, the whole debacle where the wrestlers were held, where, there was issues with the plane. And then we found out, they were actually being held hostage.
Yeah.
Then, which led to this year, you didn't see a lot of the wrestlers go. They only brought the people who they needed. Then, a lot of them also brought their own planes. There was the picture floating around of Roman with the Usos and Paul Heyman. They took their own plane.
Yeah. Well, they can afford. It's good that they can afford that. Yeah, because I would honestly do the same thing. To be honest with you, I would honestly do the same thing.
Absolutely. Hey, I mean, these guys make enough money. I think they could afford their own plane.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, we were just going over I was just going over the card with with the listener.
Just to tell you my favorite. I know I might be jumping ahead here, but just to tell you, my favorite match was absolutely Edge versus Rollins.
We were talking about that. We were talking about that one before, and the comment I made was you had two guys in this match who are amazing storytellers.
Exactly.
And these guys told a phenomenal story in that match. And I also give WWE credit for one thing. Yes, one thing, folks, you may realize, I may bash WWE a lot on the show.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I also give them their credit where it's due.
Exactly, yeah.
And they actually used the Hell in a Cell stipulation for what it's intended for.
I agree.
You had guys who, these guys, I can see these guys fight forever. I know that's such a cliche thing to say.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, you got Edge who, that guy's been a great storyteller for the last 20 years.
Edge is incredible, man. Incredible.
And here's the
Toronto. Toronto, stand up. That's my home. That's my home. So Edge is my guy. Edge is my guy.
And here's the funnier part. He is 47 years old.
Yeah.
Folks, I just want to make that clear. Edge is 47 years old.
Exactly.
And that guy can freaking wrestle better than some 20-year-olds can, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
But like I said before, he's also a good storyteller. He knows the art of storytelling. And like I said before, if you listen to a lot of other wrestlers and like bust it open, the one common thing a lot of them say, you don't see that anymore. The art of storytelling doesn't exist right now.
I know.
There's a few, but the biggest one I would say is Edge and Rollins right now have to be the top two.
Yes, I agree. Other than Brock and Roman, yes, Edge and Rollins are the top.
This version of Brock and Roman.
Oh yeah, this version that's happening right now. Yes.
And we'll get to that in a second because I want to make sure Adam Pearce's pants don't get ripped when we get to. But overall, you actually got us. We were actually like right in the middle of the card.
Oh, okay. So continue with what you're.
Yeah. No, we were just getting into. We were talking about Selena Vega and Doudrop. And
Selena Vega and okay.
Obviously, my only issue with it was a great match. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
They told a great story. but you only give them 5 minutes.
I know. Yeah,
That was the shortest match on this whole card.
Yeah, that was the issue throughout the whole tournament, right? So
yeah,
at the time.
I mean, we were talking about it numerous amount of times on this show that these women were getting no time at all.
I know.
So as a fan, how am I supposed to be invested in it when WWE is basically sitting there going, okay, get in the ring, get your shit done, and get out?
I know. On the positive side of things, though, I'm kind of happy that Zelina actually won the. She's one that won
the Queen of the Ring. Let's call it what it is.
The Queen of the Ring. Yeah.
This crap of it's the Queen's crown. Why? Do WWE think their fans are stupid and can't figure out a queen? Seriously.
I know.
But
yeah.
But you also have to look at what's been going on with Zelina Vega. This is a woman who last year got released from the company after she sent out the tweet of she wants there to be unions.
A union, a union, yeah.
She comes back around the same time her husband gets released.
You know what? Let me comment on that for a bit. Yeah. That was one of the weirdest situations that I've ever seen because I wouldn't expect Aleister Black to get released and then Zelina to come back. You would think they would want to go together, right?
Well, originally, once Aleister Black got released, everybody kind of figured Zelina Vega was going to go with him to AEW.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or on the flip side, when people heard Zelina Vega was coming back, they figured, okay, Aleister's not going to leave.
Yeah.
Then fast forward to this past 9/11 when they were doing the show at the Garden, and Zelina was supposed to have a match on that show. And ended up getting cut for time constraints.
I know.
So this is a woman who can definitely say she's had a wacky the last 2 years.
Exactly.
But now my hope is this. This isn't a shtick. I hope this actually elevates her.
I know. I want them to actually push her to superstardom now. So let's see what happens. Let's see.
Because here's my question. And I'm going to bring this up to you. I want to bring this up to everybody who's watching.
Okay.
When was the last time, and I say King of the Ring because this is the first Queen of the Ring, so we can't, so I'm just kind of putting them together.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time King of the Ring actually meant something?
Like probably the last time that it was a whole pay-per-view, which was around like 2002, I think, or 2001. I don't even remember.
Well, here's the reason why I bring it up. Because when I think of King of the Ring, to me, when it kind of ended for me, was Austin.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that.
And I'm just looking up right now. I'm trying to see.
Or was it 2003? I don't remember. I don't really remember.
I'm trying to see if I can find out the winners of the past King of the Ring. Because to me, you look at when Austin won it, and you're going back to when did he win King of the Ring? He won King of the Ring in '96.
Oh, was it '96? Oh, wow.
He beat Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay.
But my point is this: it made him a star. Yes. The next year you had Triple H win it. It pushed him to somewhere. Ken Shamrock didn't really push him much.
Hey, I loved when Shamrock was in WWE, man. That's just me, I guess.
Okay. I do stand corrected. There was a wrestler after Austin who actually used the King of the Ring and actually elevated his character.
All right.
Booker T.
Booker T, yes.
But that was 2006. So you're going almost over 10 years.
Right.
That this thing basically was a shtick.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. Corbin did some stuff with it. Nakamura did some stuff with it.
Yeah.
But that was more of a shtick.
It was, yeah.
And kind of where I'm leading to with this is, which I guess we'll get to the other side of the thing, is Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm. I think, you know what? I didn't think he was gonna win, to be honest, but I think he's gonna do amazing things with the King of the Ring.
I had a feeling he was gonna win it for one reason. if you remember, he was the one who was kind of pushing for this whole King of the Ring thing to come back.
Yep. That's true.
But now also look at where this puts New Day. Kofi Kingston, former WWE World Champion. You have Big E, current WWE Champion. Xavier Woods, King of the Ring. I'm going to say this right now. New Day to me is on the same level as The Shield, the Four Horsemen,
Yes.
NWO,
I agree.
DX, where look at the impact they're making.
I agree 100%.
And if anybody wants to fight me on it, go right ahead.
No,
Just look at the stats itself. You have Kofi Kingston, who's a multiple-time IC champion winner.
Yeah.
Who also won. Yes. Did the end of his run really work out that well? No.
Not really.
You can make the argument, he kind of got bulldozed over by Brock, but okay, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Big E won the WWE Championship. I know I was on here and I said I think they hot-shotted it because of AEW. I don't think so. You have Xavier Woods who actually did something. Now I'm curious to see where they go. I'm curious to see where they go with Xavier, and I'm curious to see where they go with Selena.
Yeah, me too. I just hope, like you said, they don't continue using it as a shtick, and they actually use it now to elevate the wrestlers who won it, right?
Well, here's my other thing. You're gonna get to a point. This is where the big difference with WWE and AEW is. WWE doesn't like to push people. If you notice.
Yeah, I know they don't.
Look at a company like AEW. The future of AEW is bright with guys like MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Dante Martin. Go down the list.
Yeah.
Who can you say right now is the future of WWE?
Roman Reigns. That's it.
It sounds stupid on paper, but think about it. WWE does not have the crop of talent that AEW has right now.
I know.
So
they had it, but they released everyone. So I don't know what they're.
But my thing is this though: if you're WWE, you take these moments with Selena, with Xavier, elevate them.
Exactly.
And you don't have to have the entire goddamn women's division revolve around Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks.
You know what, man? I'm starting to get sick of Charlotte.
Which, by the way, we're going to get to Charlotte in a bit because it seems like her and Becky...
They're beefing, right? They're beefing.
That their rivalry does not just go in the ring.
I know.
But we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
Let's get now to our producer Nick's favorite match of the night. Goldberg taking on Bobby Lashley.
Oh, man. You know what? I knew that was gonna happen though. So,
well, my thing with this version of Goldberg, that is not somebody who's just coming in. Oh, it's an easy payday. Oh, they're gonna put the title on him.
Yeah.
This version of Goldberg that has a storyline behind it.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get heat for it. Is actually the best Goldberg we've seen.
Yeah, well, they're making him use his mic. Well, I'm not gonna say skills, but they're making him use the mic more, right? So, I guess
because they're actually building because they want to have fans be invested.
Exactly.
In him, it's not gonna be like he comes in. Ooh, we're gonna have him go up against the Fiend for the title. Okay, jackhammer, spear, done.
Yeah.
There was a story here. He was going after Bobby for what Bobby did to his son at SummerSlam. Yeah. WWE's also connecting the dots here, which folks, WWE does not tend to do that much.
Yeah, in most recent years they haven't. Yeah, that's true.
So I think realistically, now do I think this goes anywhere past here? Absolutely not. I think this was the end.
I think it's the end. Yeah.
And do I think this is also the end of Goldberg in WWE? No.
They might call him back a couple more times, I think, yeah.
I have a prediction. Royal Rumble?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Yeah, I would assume so, yeah.
I would assume you're not going to see Goldberg till the Rumble, and I assume you're not going to see Edge till the Rumble.
Yeah, I can see Edge maybe, I don't know, but Goldberg definitely not until the...
Well, you also have to remember this. After Survivor Series, there's no more pay-per-views this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Survivor Series is the last pay-per-view of the year.
I'm forgetting that we're in October, late October now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that people forget, because usually you would have Survivor Series and you would have TLC.
Yeah.
There is no TLC.
Yeah,
Well, not that there's no more TLC. There's no TLC this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Because WWE actually used their heads. Oh my God, what a novel concept. They actually used their noggins.
Yeah, no more gimmicky pay-per-views. Eh?
Not even that. Because they have the pay-per-view New Year's Day that they're doing in, I think, Atlanta.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep, Atlanta. Yep.
So you probably would have had TLC be middle December.
I know.
You would have had this in the beginning of January, and then the Rumble a few weeks later.
Yeah.
That's a little overboard with the pay-per-views.
I know. Yeah, it is.
I mean, the one thing I love with what AEW does is they don't have that many pay-per-views. You have Full Gear. Your next pay-per-view is not till February.
But I know. Yeah, exactly. And they're like they're at some points AEW has good distance between their each pay-per-view.
Because they let the storyline build.
Build the storylines better, yeah?
They allow the fans to be more invested in it.
Exactly.
I can tell you right now, one of the matches, and we'll get into AEW later on, one of the matches I'm looking forward to at Full Gear is Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega.
Oh, definitely. That's going to be a banger of a match.
Because not even that. Yeah. Look at the story that's been told.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you noticed, if you go to Kenny's Twitter account, his header is the picture from All Out.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. No, I didn't know.
And if you look at how it's designed, you got Jericho next to Moxley. Then you have the All Out logo. Then you got Omega next to Hangman.
Uh-huh.
Somebody brought that up on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and that never even dawned on me. But if you look at that, yeah, I still think we see Hangman become the champion coming out of.
Oh, I definitely think that. I definitely think that's gonna happen for sure. Yeah.
But let's
it's time for Omega to take a little break there. I think, right? So,
oh yeah, I mean, for crap's sake, you're talking about a guy who at one point held, it seemed like, every title in professional wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, he still holds, I think, the AAA title.
I think so. Yeah.
And I know, obviously, he still holds the AEW title.
Yeah.
But let's keep it going, because we still got a couple more matches to get to.
Okay.
We had, for the WWE Championship, Big E took on Drew McIntyre. I think I say this right now. Great match. I have nothing. But can Drew please stay out of the title picture for a while?
I know. I was about to bring up the same thing, man. I was about to bring up the same thing.
Because
he's gonna fight for his spot again, I think, man. I think.
Oh, yeah, because we all know exactly who he's going to go for once everything kind of,
settles down.
He's going after Roman. Let's call a spade here.
Exactly.
I mean, it was nice, yes, when Drew went for the title against Brock going into 36. It was nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish it was in front of fans. Yes, absolutely, I wish. But I also wish I had $1 million right now, so you have to go with what you got.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's enough already. It seems like he has more title opportunities than most people have pairs of shoes.
I agree.
Which means, damn well he's going to get another title opportunity against Roman.
And I hope they fix, like I said last week, I think his character's kind of getting stale for me, man. So I don't know. I think they got to figure something out with him.
And I'm not saying take him out of the title picture completely.
Maybe turn him heel.
Even that. Not even that. You can have him be upper mid-card, low main event.
Exactly.
Because to me, you keep keeping him. Wow. You keep him in the title picture, and you have him go title after title after title after title.
Yeah.
How are fans supposed to be emotionally invested in this guy anymore?
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not emotionally invested in him anymore, right?
So can he please use the damn sword already as a weapon?
Exactly.
Because to me, it's unnecessary to bring that down.
I know.
But,
Exactly. Yeah.
but let's keep it going right now.
Mhm.
In a match that created probably one of the most iconic moments that I can think of. We saw Becky Lynch take on Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks in a triple threat match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship.
Before you continue, may I please say something right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I love the match. The match was perfect, but I am absolutely done with the fact that they this trading titles thing. If you're gonna make a new champion, just make a new champion during a title match. There was no reason to have to trade titles. Like, I don't understand this. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
just make a new champion during a pay-per-view championship match.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that. And we'll get into that in a bit because that in itself has caused a bit of,
Its own storyline, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. And to me, what I just don't understand with this match is, what the moment I'm talking about, let me bring up the moment first.
Okay. Yeah.
The moment I'm talking about is when Bianca Belair I don't remember if it was Sasha or Becky, but she has one of them up. You know how she does that military press move?
Yeah.
She had one of them up with one arm.
I think it was, if I recall correctly, I think it was Becky, I believe.
It was one of them.
It was one of them, yeah.
We're either going to be 50-50. But to me, what I don't understand with this match, and we saw it Monday night also, is this notion that WWE feels, oh, Bianca can't get a belt again.
She definitely can.
And we'll get into the whole thing with Bianca and Charlotte because, is shit getting real there. But
you mean Charlotte and Becky? You mean, right?
Becky, but it also involves Bianca,
right?
Because I'll explain that in a little bit.
Okay.
Overall, this match was almost a 20-minute match.
Yeah.
This was not a terrible match.
No, it wasn't terrible at all.
Not a terrible match. I just think WWE has really dropped the ball here. Because, and I get the fact that their women's division, in essence, is going to be centered around Becky and Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley, because they're the four horsewomen. But why not push a Bianca? Push Selena.
Yeah.
Push Asuka.
Yeah.
You don't have to have
where is Asuka? Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't have to have these four women being. It seems like these four women, since they've been in WWE and NXT, it seems like they've been the top. It's like, okay, well, the title has to be on one of them.
Exactly.
I mean, can you remember a time when the title wasn't on one of them?
Not in recent memory, no.
Yes, actually, there's one I do remember. WrestleMania 33, Orlando, Florida. Naomi.
Naomi, yes, she came back and won. Yeah.
But you see, that also was that was already almost 4 years ago, right there.
I know.
So it seems like, and I understand they're the ones who draw the most money for WWE. Yeah. I understand that completely.
Yeah.
But eventually, they're not going to be there. It's the same thing I say with the WWE when it comes to their reliance on guys like Goldberg and Hunter and The Rock.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to not be there anymore.
I know.
And who are you going to have be the face of the women's division? Mandy Rose?
There's one thing I want to bring up. Sorry for
go right ahead.
Switching the conversation here. Mandy Rose, I'm going to say one thing about Mandy Rose now. Her character is absolutely, right now, is absolutely amazing. I love Mandy Rose.
Oh, yeah. Right now, Mandy Rose is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be the face of your women's division. You don't push. To me, you have the only one you have right now who I could see being that face is Liv Morgan. That's only because of the fans backing her up.
Yeah.
But my problem is this. Who's to say she's going to be there much longer with how she's been booked?
I don't. You want my honest opinion? I don't think she's gonna be there much longer either. So
I mean, how many times have we said on this show already that we figure Liv Morgan's could be one of the next women to jump ship to AEW?
Yeah, and join Ruby out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's sad, but WWE thinks that okay, we have the people now. We're gonna have AJ Styles forever.
No.
AJ Styles is not young.
I know.
AJ Styles is early 40s.
Yeah.
Eventually, he's not going to want to wrestle anymore. Or he's going to want to become a part-timer.
I agree. Yep.
And then who are you going to really rely on? Because this is, like I said before, with AEW. AEW has their veterans. They have guys like Jericho, like Moxley, like Eddie Kingston, like Lance Archer. But then look at who they have in reserve. MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Dante Martin. And then even that, though, look at who they have in reserve past that. The guys who are just coming on the scene right now in AEW. What was his face? The guy who they just signed. Lee Moriarty, I think his name is?
Yeah, Lee, yeah.
Daniel Garcia.
Exactly, yeah.
You can't tell me that guy in the next 2 or 3 years isn't going to be in a title match, either for the TNT title or eventually the AEW World title.
Knowing how Cody works and the upper brass there, I think he will definitely be in the title picture in the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
he's going to have to. I mean, these guys are talented.
Mm-hmm.
AEW is poised for the next 50 plus years.
Exactly.
WWE is poised for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
Not to call a spade here, but WWE, you got to get your shit together.
Man, yeah. And who knows what's going to happen to Vince? Sorry, but who knows what's going to happen to Vince? Not that I want anything to happen, but, health problems are health problems. Who knows what's going to happen?
And not even that.
In the next 5 years.
Not even that. With companies like Ring of Honor making the comeback. Impact Wrestling, which, by the way, we'll get into them later on, because they actually have a pay-per-view tonight.
Oh, they do, yes. Bound for
Glory.
Yep.
You also have companies like MLW.
Right.
So is there really going to be room? WWE can't sit on their high horse anymore like they did for the last 20 plus years.
I know.
When you had where it was basically, go back to 2000, okay? WCW done. ECW done. You had that brief run, if you remember, where Impact Wrestling was trying to go head-to-head with WWE on Monday nights.
I remember. Yep, I remember.
After that, there's been no true competition.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, so WWE basically sat on their high horse and said, okay, we're not going to have anybody ever come after us, so we can do what we want.
Exactly.
It's basically they had a monopoly over wrestling.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you had AEW. Which, from what I'm gathering, people backstage at WWE still figure AEW is going to fall like WCW did.
I don't see that happening, to be honest.
If that happens, I would love for them to tell me how.
Exactly.
But then, on the flip side, look at Ring of Honor, like I said before, MLW.
Yeah.
Look at New Japan.
Yep. Or definitely, yeah, New Japan.
Okay, what about that other company that was an independent company? Oh, yeah, GCW.
Ooh.
Defy Wrestling. Do I have to go down the list?
Yeah, you can keep going. It's not gonna stop. But yeah,
you have these other companies that are making it intriguing right now.
Yep.
So realistically, WWE has to get their shit together, plain and simple.
Exactly.
Because, and we go back to 20 years ago with the Attitude Era, because that's when WWE had their biggest competition with WCW and ECW.
I love the Attitude Era, man. I love it.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing. Now it's worse. Because now you have AEW.
Yeah.
I'll basically repeat myself again. You have AEW. You have Impact Wrestling. You have Ring of Honor. You have MLW. You have New Japan.
Exactly.
Do I need to go any further?
No, that's good enough.
Let's go now to our main event.
Oh man, this was a banger of a match as well.
Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, taking on Brock Lesnar, it seems like for the 900th time.
Brockzilla, my guy.
For the Universal Championship.
That, I'm gonna say this. That dive that Roman Reigns did over the top rope was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really upset that people didn't take a liking to that as much as I thought they should, man. Because that was amazing. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This match in it itself was great. But let's call a spade here.
Yep.
In this version of Roman, has he really had a bad match?
Nope. Not that I can remember, not in recent memory.
Go back to his match with John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And was that was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah.
It was a great match. Realistically, go through any of the matches Roman has had as your Universal Champion. Has there been one bad one?
Nope.
The stuff this guy has done. And people forget, he came back at SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
He's held the belt since SummerSlam.
Yeah, but I think they're going to make it, honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if it's going to last this long, but I think they're going to make him hold it until WrestleMania, I think. I have a feeling.
With the news that came out regarding Rock, and that they don't figure he'll be involved in the storyline until next year's meeting, not the one coming up in Dallas this year. Next year, the one that's in Los Angeles.
Yep.
You can have Roman drop the belt and have him get it back and go, look, you see, I'm never going to lose the title.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, why not have him go on a lengthy run?
Yeah, I think they're gonna want him to. WWE as an organization is gonna want him to break as many of the records that.
Think about it also.
Yeah.
Go back. People forget Brock held that title for over 500 days.
Exactly. I think they're gonna want to break that record with Roman and more.
Here's the thing also. Go back to the years where you had guys held in titles for years.
Yeah.
We have to go back to arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Bruno Sammartino.
Wow, yeah.
Who freaking held that title, it seems like, for 10 years. Yeah, do I think Roman's going to hold the title for 10 years like Bruno? Probably not.
Yeah.
But why not have him go on a run? Whereas, he's holding the title for 3+ years. And it's like, okay, can this guy be stopped? Who the hell's going to stop this guy?
I know.
Or what you can do, you have the guys coming up from NXT.
Yep.
Have him drop it to somebody in NXT.
Who would that be, though?
That's the thing, though. It's who would it be?
Yeah. I don't see it being Mello or anybody like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I thought Mello don't miss.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they might make that into a storyline too. So let's see.
Realistically, we're that's way down the road.
Yeah, I'm just predicting. Yeah.
And honestly, if I think you want to have anybody have him drop the belt too, what about that big guy who was in the UK? Oh yeah, Walter.
Yeah, that would. You know what? A Roman Reigns Walter match would be a banger. That would be.
You want to talk about a stiff match?
Yeah, definitely.
That is what you will call a stiff match right there.
No, I'm saying, so we can assume, I'm assuming right now that as soon as Walter gets called up to the main roster, I think that's what's going to happen. I know it's probably a long way away from happening, but I assume that's what's going to happen, yeah.
And may not even happen. Because I know, what's his face? Walter has always said he never wants to live in the United States full time.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true too.
But realistically, also, he's not like he's really doing anything right now.
I know. I know.
Because right now, when you look at Imperium, most of the time you're only seeing what's his face, Fabian Eichner and
Yeah.
Marthel. What's his face?
Mars.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't remember his name, but yeah, I know.
And they're actually set to have a tag title match at a Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, next week. On Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday night, which we'll get into that also because, like I said, folks, there is a lot for us to get to tonight.
Yeah, there is.
But now let's make the transition away from Crown Jewel. I mean, overall, before we do that, where would you rank this pay-per-view among the other pay-per-views we've seen this year? Not just WWE.
I think you know what? To be honest, the AEW, for me, the AEW pay-per-view last month was the best one. So
that was All Out.
All Out, yeah, sorry, All Out, yes. So All Out was the best one. As far as Crown Jewel is concerned, I think it was definitely better than, in my opinion, it was definitely better than SummerSlam, though. It was definitely better than SummerSlam. So
I'll go as far as saying this. I think Crown Jewel was the best pay-per-view WWE has put on this year.
Yep. I actually would agree with you on that because
I think it's 10 times better than what they did at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think it was better than what they did at WrestleMania.
That's huge, yeah. For WWE, that's huge, yeah. And I agree with that too.
And I mean, tell me WWE pay-per-view. I mean, we just went through the entire card with a few flaws here and there. Tell me a WWE pay-per-view that's been as stacked as this one was.
No, I can't think of one, man. I can't think of one.
Realistically, that's the thing. Let's make the transition over again, folks. This is the Notoriety. I keep butchering the freaking name. Notoriety Uppercut show. At 7:30, we will be joined by our guest Orlando Costa. I know you have a music background. So I think you and Orlando will get along quite well because Orlando is the programming director from one of the rock stations.
Nice.
That's right by me that I listen to every day.
You're based in New York, right?
Yeah, Long Island.
All right, perfect, nice.
Yeah, and he's also a huge wrestling fan.
All right, perfect.
So he will. So guys.
Great then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So guys, that's going to happen at 7:30. We're also going to get into, in about, I would say 10 minutes or so, we're going to get into our favorite entrance music.
Okay.
And I know Nick is sort of there, but not really with producing time. Which, by the way, again, Nick, thank you so much for producing tonight. Nick, if you want to hop in on that, by all means, brother, you are more than welcome to on that. But let's get over now to SmackDown because SmackDown and we'll leave Rampage for later on because big news came out of SmackDown, and the big news I'm talking about is the Becky Lynch Charlotte Flair saga.
Right.
And mind you, there was still stuff coming out 10 minutes before we went on air tonight, folks.
Yep.
So from what I gathered, I don't have the notes in front of me of exactly what happened. From what I read, from what Sean Ross Sapp reported and a few others, it seemed that Charlotte wanted to drop the belt to Bianca.
Yep.
On Raw. She felt she's a huge fan of Bianca. She thought it would have been big for her. Okay. She thought, like most wrestling fans, that the title exchange thing was stupid.
I definitely agree with her.
She also did not like the way Becky, if you noticed in that segment, Becky kind of threw the belts.
Yep, I saw that. Yep.
That was she wasn't too much a fan of that.
I'm not a fan of that either. Yeah.
I mean, and this is what we were saying before. I don't understand for the life of me WWE's mentality of not wanting that the title has to be on one of the four. Like, hold on. If I look up the SmackDown women's title, the history of it, okay?
It's gonna be Sasha.
Hold on. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. If you go based off championships, okay. Okay, so you had Alexa Bliss won it. Naomi has won it. Natalia has won it. Carmella has won it. Asuka has won it. Bianca has won it. And that's it. So in going through that, Charlotte Flair right now is the 21st woman to hold that title since it started. So in going through 21 women, I think that's what? Let's see. Like, I think that's maybe what? 3 or 4 women outside of the 4 horsewomen who has held that title.
Yeah.
Now, if we go to the other side of the spectrum and we look at the Raw women's title,
it's going to be all, yeah.
I think it's going to be, hold on 1 second. I think it's going to be the same, unfortunately. I think it's going to be, you're going to see a lot more. It's going to be, how many times can we put the freaking title on one of the 4 horsewomen?
On Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this one, I think, has also had 21 different. Yeah. Oh, no, this one, sorry, has 23.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So in the 23 people who have held the title, let's see how many of them are not 4 horsewomen. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. The first non-horsewoman to hold that title was Alexa Bliss on April 30th, 2017.
Wow. 4 years.
And she was the 7th. That was no, strike that. She was the 9th.
Wow. Whew.
For the first 8 reigns of that belt, it went between Charlotte and Sasha.
Jesus. Wow.
Okay, hold on.
Holy.
Then you had Nia Jax win the belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had Ronda win the belt. Ronda Rousey won the belt.
Ronda Rousey, yeah.
Asuka had the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley had the belt. Nikki ASH had the belt.
Oh, that was.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So that was what, 5 that I just listed there?
Yeah, 5.
You had Nikki, Rhea, Nia, and Alexa. 4. Okay?
4. Okay.
So that's 4 women talking both titles here for a second.
Yep.
That were non-horsewomen.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous.
I know.
And you have talented women on this roster.
That Nikki ASH run was a sorry for being
No, you're good.
disrespectful here, but it was kind of a joke, right? So
It was a joke, yes, because they could have presented it better.
I know.
And I applaud Charlotte for her wanting to put over people.
Yeah.
Like Nikki ASH, like Bianca.
Yep.
But for some reason, WWE has this mindset, well, if Charlotte's on the roster, if Sasha's on the roster, if Becky's on the roster, if Bayley's on the roster. No, the title has to go to them automatically.
I know.
And I don't understand.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And the other thing also that I have to mention with this whole Charlotte Becky thing, it actually got to the point Charlotte had to be physically escorted out of the arena.
Wow.
That night.
Jeez. Wow.
And I mean, obviously we know who her fiance is. It's Andrade.
Andrade, yeah.
She was on a plane to Orlando for tonight's AEW Dynamite to support Andrade.
Wow, eh?
To the point she didn't even talk to Vince coming out of Gorilla.
Yeah.
Now here's my question. Do they screw her around and basically make her look like a joke now? For what happened? As far as a way of saying, look,
yeah,
we gave you the keys. The power went to your head. Now we're going to screw around.
Okay, but can I tell you something now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've predicted that they're going to screw around with Charlotte during the time that Ric Flair left already. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I had a feeling that wasn't what was gonna happen with Charlotte. That they were gonna screw around with her. Like after Ric Flair left, I had a feeling that's gonna start happening now.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, I think now you're going to start seeing something.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. You don't turn around and say, and again, what Charlotte is, because I know there's a lot of people who are saying that, oh, Becky's in the right, Charlotte's in the wrong. I'm sorry, that to me comes off like high school.
I know.
It's like, ooh, we have to pick sides now. Why can't we just say both women have points here to make? And to be honest, I don't blame Charlotte for what she said.
I don't blame her either. I don't blame her. Like I said before, you should have a new champion. Like if you're deciding on a new champion, you should have a new champion during a championship match, an actual championship match, and forget about all this trading belts stuff. It's ridiculous.
That was big last year when the Street Profits and the New Day.
Yeah, I know.
Switch belts, but still, I mean, I think
once is enough. Once is enough. You don't need to do it twice.
Once is fine. To me, it lessens the value of the belt.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, okay, well, we couldn't have somebody actually win the belt, so
we had to trade it.
Here you go. Here's your belt.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, people.
It's ridiculous. Why are you wrestling? Why are you in the wrestling business if you're not going to wrestle for belts and you're just going to trade?
If you'd rather be in the trading business, believe me, go to the trading business.
Exactly.
To me, what they're doing essentially is you lessen the value.
I agree, of the belt.
Because to me, if you're somebody who's holding the belt and you're getting by crown jewel, and you know damn well the draft happens, and you know damn well, you still hold the other thing, you're gonna sit there and go, "Oh, I'll just trade for the new belt, not a problem."
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in wrestling. Actually,
is it more ridiculous than the fact of the Brock Lesnar storyline they're going with? That he is suspended again.
I know.
Man, that guy gets more suspensions than I care to count.
Exactly. But the point is he can destroy everyone. So yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing. We'll get into that. We'll get into the whole Brock and Roman thing before we get into the entrance music thing in a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar, this is not the first time he's done this. Go back to WrestleMania. Was it 31? I think
it was. Yeah, it was about 3 years ago. Yeah.
When he had the whole thing on Monday Night Raw, when he did the F5 to Michael Cole in the middle of the ring.
That was amazing. That was an amazing.
I think that was coming out of 31. If I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
And again, it was the same thing. It's okay, Brock. We're going to suspend you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, I think it's the easy way out.
I know. I agree.
It's the easy way out because then you can write Brock off TV for a couple of months.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden go back to the infamous Royal Rumble again.
Yeah.
I think that's when we see Brock return because I think that's when then they can set something up for him going into Mania.
Mania, right.
And I still think him and Mania. I don't think it's gonna be Roman. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know if they do it this year. They do it next year. But I think you get him and Stevenson.
Ooh, that would be amazing.
Well, that's what they're setting up for. Let's call a spade here. They're setting up that Stevenson is past the torch from Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which, okay, I appreciate that. And yes, I appreciate that. But why can't you do that for all the wrestlers?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, use your head. From what I think, most people have a brain up there, so.
You would think that, but it doesn't seem like
common sense doesn't exist in this world, folks. Common sense does not exist.
Yeah.
But Costa, you ready to get to the music part? Because I know you're a music guy.
I'm definitely ready. Yep. I'm definitely ready.
Like I said, we'll be joined by Orlando in about 15 minutes or so. But let's get into a little bit about music and professional wrestling.
Okay.
Music and professional wrestling go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like peanut butter and jelly or ham and cheese, or I don't know why I just went through fruit on that one, but you get my point. Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
In your opinion, what makes good entrance music? Is it the first couple of notes in the riff? Does it have to have an iconic sound to it? Well, in your opinion, what makes an iconic entrance music?
Well, if you think about entrance music from past wrestlers, I think the entire energy and the feel that it brings out of the fans is the most important thing, right? So as soon as you hear, it's the first couple of notes. So as soon as you hear a Stone Cold's entrance,
The glass breaks.
Yeah, exactly. The glass when the glass breaks. As soon as you hear, do you smell what the Rock is cooking when the Rock comes out? Like it's those few moments, right, that make the entrance music special.
I think another one you can throw in there is Undertaker with the gong.
The gong, yes, definitely.
Okay, look at a company like AEW. Is it too early to say that AEW has iconic?
No, it's not too early. It's not too early because you know why? Jericho already has iconic entrance music, right?
You know who else I can say in that? Look at somebody like Jurassic Express.
Yep, them as well. Yeah.
Look at somebody like Adam Cole.
Yep.
The second you hear Tarzan Boy or you hear Adam Cole's entrance, the crowd
automatically gets hyped.
You look at ones like
CM Punk.
CM Punk is probably the biggest one. Yeah. I know one of the things I always look at, because I know TikTok does this a lot, is they'll have people rank entrance music. Yep. And you always see you always see CM Punk's music up there a lot. You always see Darby Allin's music up there.
Yeah.
But let's go through it now. I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Give me your top 5 entrance songs.
Top 5 entrance
of all time.
All right. So I would say the first one would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
So Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance, that would be number 1. Number 2 would be, as I mentioned before, The Rock's entrance music. Number 3 would be Undertaker's gong reference as entrance music. Number 4 would be, oh man.
You can also include AEW in this as well.
Right. I think I'm going to have more than 5, man. I think I'm going to have more than 5.
All right, you can do a few honorable mentions.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
Okay, so number 4 would be, I would say, Triple H's entrance music. I love that. Number 5 would be DX as a group.
Okay.
And number 6, I'm gonna do 10 if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Number 6 would be I love Jeff Hardy's. Number 6 would be Jeff Hardy's entrance music. Number 7 would be CM Punk's entrance music. Number 8 would be, as you said, Adam Cole. And number 9 would be Edge's entrance music.
Yes.
And number 10 would be wow, this is tough. I would go with Shawn Michaels' entrance music as my
okay. Okay. So we'll go top 10 now? Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry about that.
No. You're good. You're good. Number 10 for. This one's going to be tough. Number 10. Let me go number 1. Number 1 for me, I gotta go CM Punk.
As number 1?
Not Cult of Personality.
Okay.
The other one.
Right.
Because to me, it gets you going. You know right away.
It's CM Punk.
It's clobbering time.
Right.
Number 2, I think you got to go Austin.
Right.
That glass breaks. Damn well shit's about to get real.
I agree.
Number 3. So like I said, I have Punk 1, Austin 2. Number 3, Rock. Just that opening part where he says, "Can you smell?" All that stuff. Number 4, Triple H, the game. Because, it's always time to play the game. Number 5, I would say Undertaker. I know people are going to say, why is Undertaker so low on your list? Undertaker's is only low on the list because his thing is just the gong part in the beginning.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
With Austin, it's the entire one. So then you have that. So that's 5. Oof. Number 6 for me is Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
7 for me. I'm actually going to go a little bit out of the box in this one. Give me EC3.
Yeah.
In Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
Number 8, sticking with Impact Wrestling for a bit. Give me Samoa Joe.
Oh, I forgot about Samoa Joe. That's right. That's correct. Yeah, I agree with that too.
Number 9 for me. Number 9 for me. Give me Tarzan Boy for Jungle Boy.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And number 10. Give me. Shit. Number 10, give me The Nation on that one.
The Nation, yeah?
Nation of Domination.
Oh my God, yes.
Why do you think now I thought this whole thing was going to be tough? Because while I was going through the list in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that one. Oh, shit, well, what about that one? What about that one? I mean, crap, we both forgot Edge.
Oh, I mentioned Edge, but I mentioned him like later in my list. Yeah.
I mean, crap, but something like this, you could have easily done a top 20, a top 30.
I know.
And folks, if you're watching, leave us your top 10 entrance songs.
Yeah, leave us
of all time. Give us your suggestions, and our producer Nick will pull them up and we'll talk about it on the show. But we do have a couple minutes to go till our guest joins us. So let's keep the conversation going.
All right.
With just, because part of this whole thing, I just want to kind of explain to people what this whole Hope Rocks thing is. Obviously, Orlando will kind of go more into it when he joins us. Basically, it's all about mental health. And that you're never alone. And I only bring that up right now, especially with the news that came out today. Regarding Kylie Ray.
Yes.
Kylie Ray is somebody who I actually saw live at AEW, Double or Nothing.
Yep.
She's had a lot of mental health problems. And that's the one thing that this Hope Rock thing strives for. And obviously when Orlando joins us in about 5 minutes, we'll have him explain a little bit more and kind of go more into detail on it. But I just want people to know, if you're suffering with a mental health issue and think, oh, I'm in the dark, nobody can help me, I'm telling you right now, that's absolute bullshit.
I know.
I'm
going to say this right now. Sorry for the interruption.
No, you're good.
Anybody who is suffering from mental health issues, I'm going to say this right now. You're never alone. there's always people and organizations available to reach out to
Absolutely.
in case you need some assistance. So
Believe me, there's the promotion going around right now called Tag Me In,
right.
which is big on Twitter right now. That you should never think you're in the dark.
No.
And I tell this to people constantly. You're never in the dark. You're never alone. You always have somebody there who, even if you need to vent about something, there's always somebody there who can talk to. It could be a friend. It could be a significant other. Even like CASA, like you were saying before, the organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know there's been a lot of there's been a lot of, trying to figure out the best way to phrase this. With everything going on right now, with the coronavirus and all that, there's a lot of toll that takes on the mental health. If you're somebody who thinks, I'm being overworked, this, that, and another thing, you are allowed to take a mental health day.
You are definitely allowed to do that, yes.
Nobody's ever going to say, no, you can't. Because, trust me, people would rather want to hear your story than sit at your funeral. And I know that's dark of a way to phrase it, but that's the best way I can phrase it. Yeah. And even you see it in professional wrestling a lot. I mean, go back to what's his face, Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
I mean, people laugh, about him just, like was a terrible wrestler in the ring. But Lars Sullivan is somebody who was big in NXT, who got to the main roster and all of a sudden realized he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And believe me, nobody's going to ever tell you, oh, you can't do something. Oh, you're a terrible person. We're all human beings.
Exactly.
And we all have to realize when we reach a certain point, okay, it's time to take a step back. Like, I'll be honest, and I know we're kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit right now, but I used to do another show before I joined this network. And I realized at a certain point it was taking a toll on me. I realized the show was consuming my life.
Yeah.
And I realized I had to take a step back. Yes, granted, there were a few other things that kind of, caused me to leave that other show, but still, I had to take a step away.
Yeah.
I had to kind of focus on myself and kind of realize where I was headed. Because I'll be honest, I was in a very dark spot at that moment. And coming back now, doing the show now with you guys has kind of given me that second boost of energy almost.
Yeah, second win, yeah.
I mean, for crap's sake, I spent $45 on this. I don't know if you can see this new microphone setup I have right now.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
You know what it's like spending $45 on a headphone setup that you realize later costs $500 if you buy it brand new? But still, it's little things like that put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
When I know I'm putting money into a microphone for a show that, I mean, look at where we're heading to with this show. And we haven't even begun.
Exactly. And we're already headed to incredible heights together. So,
and I mean, yes, I mean, one of the things we will tease right now, folks, is stay tuned in the next couple of weeks because you will be seeing some changes with the show.
Definitely. Great changes. Not just changes, but great changes.
Yes. And all you just have to do, guys, is you have to believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was my joke of the night, folks.
Exactly.
But no, in all seriousness, though, you guys will be seeing some changes with the show.
Mm-hmm.
What those changes are, we're not going to say them right now. Just stay locked in because, folks, you're only seeing the beginning.
Oh, this is definitely only the beginning
of what the show will end up becoming. you're starting to see the beginning of what this show will become, because there's nothing stopping us.
Nothing.
There's the only thing that's going to stop us. I'm going to say this right now, and I know I'm probably going to get flack for this. Only thing that's stopping us is us.
Exactly, yeah.
And I will say this right now, as somebody who's been doing radio now and podcasts now for over 10 years, I want this show to become something. I want to take this show to heights that blow any other show I've ever done.
Out of the water.
Out of the water. And with who we have backing us up and our mindset right now, there's nothing that's going to stop us.
We can reach unbelievable heights.
And folks, one thing I do want to say also, again, we are waiting for our guest to join us. So as soon as he joins us, we'll get right to him. Overall, I mean, these last couple of weeks, they've been phenomenal. I know, folks, this isn't me saying I'm leaving the show. I've always have the mentality, you want to give your flowers to people while they're still alive. And I want to give the flowers to the fans here, because it's the fans that have me come back every week. It's the fans that had me sitting there on a Monday night, or even if I'm at work, for example, and I don't want this to go out to the public.
Yeah.
Checking my phone at work to see what's going on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Or even SmackDown Friday nights. Guys, it's you guys. Believe me, I know damn well where the show's going to head. I have a vision in mind that as long as people sit there and are willing to wait, the reward will be perfect.
Yes.
The reward will be phenomenal.
Definitely agree with you, boss.
Folks, just give us time.
Yeah.
And you know damn well we're gonna keep our promises to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's bring in our guest right now. He is the programming director of 94.3 The Shark right here on Long Island. You hear him every day, it seems like. And that is Orlando. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? I just real fast. I appreciate the intro. I'm the morning show host. Rob's the program director.
Okay. I feel like I hear you constantly on there, but I apologize about that.
No worries at all. As far as being on the air every day, the program director gets one day off. It's all good.
But we were just talking before. Obviously, you guys are about to do Hope Rocks in 2 weeks from now?
November 13th. And thank you guys so much for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's at the Paramount, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., November 13th.
Absolutely. What brought you guys to want to do this? I know you guys have been doing this now for a couple of years.
Yeah, we've been involved in suicide prevention charities for a while. I mean, it started with me when Chris Cornell passed away.
Okay. I remember that one.
Yeah, it was one of the most devastating days on the air, but the positive side was everybody calling in, asking, are you all right? Are you all right? Everybody was bringing up their favorite Chris memories, talking about how that music kept them alive for so long. And for weeks afterwards, people would come up to Rob and Jamie and myself and be like, that broadcast got me through the day. And I'm like, all we did was talk, but then it got me thinking, talking about it really can help. So that's how it started.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it before. I mean, you see it a lot in professional wrestling with mental health issues. I don't know if you're familiar with the wrestler Kylie Ray at all. She has had mental health issues for as long as she's been in pro wrestling. And the one thing we were talking about before you joined us is people should never feel like they're in the dark.
You know, it's funny because, there's nothing funny about it, but wrestling, the message of Hope Rocks is with music, you're never alone.
Yeah.
but we have so many different special guests that are going to join us that represent different parts of all of our lives with people that have helped us through. For me, wrestling was one of the biggest escapes that I've ever had.
Perfect.
3 o'clock, I ran from the elementary school home so I didn't get my butt kicked by my bullies. I ran in the door. I knew that at 4, the Legends of World Class Championship Wrestling was on.
Wow, okay.
I would throw the couch pillows on the floor. I would do my Superfly splashes. I would do my Iron Claws on the armrest, and then I would watch the Von Erichs every day. And when my mom was here a couple of weeks ago, we sat down on Peacock and we watched the Legend of World Class, and the tears, just those memories help keep me alive, man. And like I'll always be grateful for wrestling for what it did.
Yeah, absolutely. Costa?
Yes. So my background is actually in music, and so mostly in the music industry, but in regards to hip hop, but I like some rock too. I like a lot of rock too. So my background is in the music industries, and I love wrestling as well. So I can wholeheartedly agree with everything you're saying, and I appreciate the event that you're putting on in terms of helping individuals with mental health issues. It's a really great initiative, and I appreciate you for doing that too. So
I hope you guys come down that day, man. We're going to be broadcasting live for 8 hours. Spotlight's next door to the Paramount is opening up the forum. We're going to have auction items. We're going to have
nice
live bands playing. You guys should come down and hang out. I would love to hang for a little while.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see what's going on with me because I'm actually having an eye procedure done next week. So as long as everything goes well with that, I'll definitely swing by for a bit.
Fingers crossed for you, brother. Fingers crossed. Costa, what kind of hip hop are you into?
I'll just describe it this way. So I'm into like artists like Kendrick Lamar, and like a lot of artists that people would consider old school, but they're not really old school. Consider like artists like Eminem,
Sure.
50 Cent, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all the classics all the artists that you would consider to be classic artists.
As long as I'm not hearing them in the supermarket, I'm okay. When I hear my fans in Stop and Shop, that's when I start to get a little bit worried.
Yeah.
As somebody who used to work in a supermarket, I totally get you on that.
Hey, John, I apologize as I'm asking the questions. It's just the DJ in me. I literally
go right ahead. Believe me. I was talking for the first half hour by myself. So any questions you have, go right ahead. I'll never say no.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just grateful for giving me the forum. And I'm appreciative to not only talk about mental health, but to talk about wrestling. I don't know if you can see my Ultimate Warrior tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can see it. We can see it. And as far as with wrestling right now, are you somebody who's more of the I'm AEW, I'm WWE, or are you a pro wrestling?
Look, when I was a kid on Long Island, I used to have to go to a stationery store and read the old PWI Apta magazines to learn about Sting and Lex Luger and Nikita Koloff. Yeah. I am so happy that there's so much wrestling out there. It's great that there's options.
Well, I know now you recently joined up with one of the Long Island promotions, Full Faithful Wrestling.
Yeah, they made me their general manager in February of 2020, and then the pandemic happened, and we were just chomping at the bit to do something. And that show with Cesar Bononi and Vicky Guerrero was one of the most rewarding moments of my life.
Well, I was about to say, I saw the clip with you and Vicky Guerrero.
Got slapped in the face, bro.
What was it like with her, with her background in professional wrestling? What was it like basically working with her for a couple minutes?
I couldn't tell you how out of place I felt. You had all these wrestlers, and everybody was so grateful. But then here I am, like some random DJ out of nowhere. And I was so happy. My mom flew up from Florida just to see it.
Oh, wow.
And her first words were, it wasn't, boy, Bri, great job. It was, Boy, Vicky, I've been waiting for a girl to slap his mouth for years.
Oh.
Yes, I saw that, and I was like, wow. Just knowing that, I mean, you basically got slapped in the face by a Guerrero. Most people can't say that.
I think in my career, the phrase loophole is going to get used to describe all of it. I'm not a musician, but I've jammed with my favorite bands. I'm not a wrestler, but I've got slapped by Vicky Guerrero. I'm lucky, man.
Hey, you basically, you get lucky at the right moment. And I mean, I've had stuff in my life where it's like people I've met even. I've sat there and I'm like, how the hell did this just happen? Like a great story, I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago, New Japan Pro Wrestling did a show at Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
Right before WrestleMania 35?
Yep, I do remember that.
Okay, I went to that show. I got into the city earlier that day. Went with a friend of mine, and he was holding a box for somebody. And I said, "Oh, who are you holding the box for?" He's like, "Oh, for Marty." I'm like, "Marty who?" Also, you see Marty Scurll come running past him.
Wow.
And I happened to meet Marty Scurll that day.
Wow,
That's awesome.
amazing.
So you really, I mean, you get these moments where it's like you pinch yourself. You really, I mean, Orlando, for you and what you've done for, with the Shark, I mean, you probably do that once a week.
Listen, there's more days when I'm sitting in a room smaller than this by myself than there's not. But, I'm like the biggest Candlebox fangirl in the world. And I hadn't seen the guys in 2.5 years between the pandemic and everything else. So when they came up in Mulcahy's, it was just a small reminder. Yeah, it sucked for a while, but when they were up, that one day made it worth it,
Oh, yeah. And I also wanted to ask you, we were talking before about entrance music, because figure, add music and wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite entrance music?
So, biased opinion, the Ultimate Warrior's entrance music. I mean, there is no other entrance music that fit a wrestler's entrance better than that, and there never will be. You heard the dun, 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 dun. You wouldn't run out until after that first couple of bars, and you knew that this lunatic was going to tear it up.
Yeah.
The first ever use of entrance music as a surprise, because back then they wouldn't play the entrance music because then you would know that the wrestler was coming out and you couldn't break the kayfabe.
Yeah.
Remember WrestleMania 8?
Yes.
Hulk Hogan, Sid Justice, Papa Shango comes out. There's a miscue. They're beating on Hogan a lot longer than they should. All of a sudden, for the first time that I remember, entrance music is used for a run-in. Every plate on that table in my house was broken. The Warriors music, not even the Warriors, you just knew the music was coming on. Best entrance music ever.
Yeah, I mean, even now, though, I mean, we were talking before, and the one guy we mentioned in both of our lists was Edge.
Yep.
Edge is...
Yeah, when you heard "Do You Think You Know Me," watching him cry, and then I was crying, and everybody was crying. Well, what's your favorite entrance music?
Mine, I went with CM Punk. Not Cult of Personality, the other one.
And I went with what did I go with again? I went with
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Yeah, I went with Stone Cold's entrance music. Yeah, when that glass breaks, everybody went crazy, bro.
Once they started using music for the run-ins, it changed the game. I remember my favorite wrestlers predate that. Like Nikita Koloff, I don't even remember if he had entrance music.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Early entrance music that to this day resonates with me, the Midnight Express.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so serious when they walked out. And I mean, you listen to it now, it sounds like a MIDI file from like a Doom game from the 90s, but they would walk out with that music and you knew it was business.
Well, I know now there's a group called The Revival, or they used to be called The Revival. They're now called FTR. Their theme music is basically inspired by the Midnight Express.
Really? I got to check that out.
Yeah, that they just came out with recently, actually. But even you look at a company like AEW, for example, and the entrance music that they put out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you hear Adam Cole's entrance music,
Yeah.
you get. I mean, I laugh. Okay, I wasn't around when Jungle Boy's entrance music first came out. Tarzan Boy.
Yep.
I heard it now. I can tell you right now, that's one of probably the most played songs I have on Spotify.
Yep. At the gym today, I had a wrestling entrance music list because I knew we were going to be talking, and Bad Street USA came on. I mean, you hear it today, it's like, man, that song is terrible, but it's awesome.
But I mean, we were saying before, you look at some of these iconic entrance music. What makes them iconic is a simple phrase that was even said.
Absolutely, yeah. Like,
do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Yeah, The Rock.
Yep.
The Rock was one. Okay,
look at. Asked her to call somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a guy who I'm surprised is still wrestling to this day.
Yeah, Billy Gunn.
You talking about Billy Gunn or
Billy Gunn? Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Yeah, Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn was one of the nicest guys that I ever met, and as much as I love that, I'm an ass man will make me smile every time I hear it.
Well, the funny part is that's happened to me now, and also I turned 7 shades of red because I just happened to be walking in like the exact wrong spot where I should be, and that song starts playing. I'm like, let's change this now, please. Let's move it along. But no, it's just music and professional wrestling go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. I mean, we were talking about before. You think of Undertaker, for example.
Yep.
That gong. I mean, when that gong goes off,
everybody goes.
It's you know what's going to happen.
You know, The Undertaker was such an iconic figure for the eeriness, for the horror element. You go back to the original Halloween movie, and they even said the movie was boring until they added the score. When John Carpenter added that score, it made the movie. Music is always going to be that enhancing force in everything.
Okay, here's a little trivia question for both of you guys. You brought up the original Halloween movie.
Yeah.
What WCW act used that as their entrance music?
WCW.
I don't remember, but I could take a guess.
Take a guess.
Was it Rick Rude when he was the Halloween Phantom?
No.
Jeez. I don't remember at all, no.
Samoan SWAT team.
Oh.
The SST, God.
Yeah.
I don't remember them in WCW. The thing I remember the most about the SST is when Michael Hayes and Steve Do It To It Cox used the team.
Mm-hmm.
They were world class. Michael Hayes gets hurt. Steve Cox had to fight by himself. And the SST winds up beating him. But Steve Cox became like the ultimate babyface for taking that beating and trying to defend the title solo.
Well, I love using that because most people, when I ask them that, have the exact same reaction you guys both just did.
Yeah, no clue.
That's one of those things of, you know, you're up late at night and you're reading stuff on the internet. You just happen to come across that.
What did happen to the SST?
Oh, I don't remember.
I'm writing this down, man. First thing I'm doing when I sit down to eat tonight, I'm looking that up. I love them.
Yeah, they were good. They definitely were good. But you brought up the Undertaker before, and I want to get your take on this. With all the stuff they've done on him, as far as the documentaries, and do you think they're almost killing his character? Almost like when his character wasn't doing all the meet and greets and all the behind the scenes stuff, he had a mystique about him.
You're never going to have that mystique again because he's not wrestling anymore.
No.
I mean, it's almost now like the celebration. You couldn't celebrate the character then because it was so mysterious. But now it's like we've all accepted the fact that he's not getting back in the ring. I think it's cool. I mean, seeing him and Stone Cold talk, seeing him so, chill and conversational, I think it's cool.
Well, I bring that up also because right before, because Crown Jewel was yesterday, the WWE pay-per-view, Pitbull apparently had a concert in Saudi Arabia. And his hype man was The Undertaker.
I saw that. I don't, our generation is too old to want to see him wrestle again. Like, we have to accept the fact. I mean, it took me 10 minutes just to get from the couch to here. And the younger kids aren't going to know who The Undertaker was. I mean, I think it's cool if you have like a 10-year-old and he sees Pitbull's hype man, you want to go, yo, you want to see what this guy did 20 years ago?
Yeah. And then that kid will have nightmares for a while.
For a long time, but he'll be tougher for it.
Yeah. But, you look at a lot of these guys, it's what makes a lot of them is their entrance music.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, it's their entrance music.
John, I just want to bring it up quick. Like, I think one of the most devastating days I've ever had on the air was when the Warrior passed. You asked about The Undertaker. I'm just glad that we still get to see him.
Oh, yeah. And that's funny. Well, there's nothing funny regarding death, but I remember when Warrior, that whole day, because I remember sitting there watching him at the induction ceremony a few weeks prior to that. And then he came back to Raw that night, and it was almost like he almost had like this notion in him that it was like something was about to happen.
Saturday was the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Sunday was Mania. Monday was the last speech he ever gave on Raw. And then Tuesday he passed. I was there at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
I watched it getting dark.
That's amazing.
Only time I've ever been a part of a Hall of Fame. But, I mean, that music alone got me through so much. But we work with mental health, and people ask me all the time, well, what got you through? The Ultimate Warrior. That was my inspiration to not be bullied anymore, to not take crap, to get myself in shape. I mean, I don't think I ever quite got to that level, but who did?
Well, like, I laugh because with me, like we were saying before about how Ultimate Warrior got you through, I'll be honest right now, I pulled the curtain back a lot tonight, and to me, the biggest thing that's gotten me through a lot is the Daniel Bryan character.
Cool.
Because to me, go back to when he was going into WrestleMania 30, okay? Yep. And he was the underdog, and nobody thought he can pull it off. I always have had that mentality of I'm an underdog. Nobody ever thinks I can pull anything off. And when I do pull something off, I look at them and go, look at what I just did.
We got a great show here tonight, brother. So if Daniel Bryan helped you do that, he did a good job.
Hey, he really, not even that. Because if you remember, right after that was when he married Brie Bella.
Yep.
So to me, it's like when I had my first girlfriend, I was like, okay, I'm having that Daniel Bryan moment.
Yep.
But going back, I just want to go back because you were saying before about how with Hope Rocks, it's the whole music and mental health thing. I don't know if you heard now they're doing one with wrestling now called Tag Me In.
I saw it, and I think it's great. The wrestlers have always been so generous with all of our mental health initiatives. Mick Foley's going to be a part of Hope Rocks. We got a couple of others that we're hoping to get, and we've been in talks. We just got to make sure the schedule works. But, I think there should be a wrestling mental health initiative. Wrestling is one of the greatest escapes that this universe has.
Actually, funny story now, you brought up Mick Foley. I actually met Mick Foley when I was in 5th grade. Wow. Do you remember when he wrote, I don't remember which book it was. It must have been the second one that he wrote. The Have a Nice Day. Not Have a Nice Day, the second one.
Was it the Christmas one? Not the Christmas book. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What happened was my dad had a copy of the book. My dad is very big in getting autographs. So I remember he turned on me in 5th grade. He's like, go try to get Mick Foley's autograph. Spoke to the teacher. She's like, we'll see what we can do. He does a presentation. Student teacher comes up after the thing comes up and goes, John, Mick Foley wants to meet you.
Wow. That's awesome.
I still have the book to this day.
Do you remember anything he said to you?
I was in 5th grade. I didn't remember. But no, believe me, I've had moments where it's like you meet certain wrestlers, even musicians. Like my biggest music moment was sitting at center field for the Big Four concert that happened.
Yankee Stadium?
Yankee Stadium, and listening to Enter Sandman literally 3 feet away from the stage. I was like, that's a moment you never can take away.
No, that's why you guys should come down or at least call in, or we'll figure something out for Hope Rocks, because these are stories we want to share. We just want to remind people that they're not alone, that these moments that make them feel good can probably be shared by somebody else. I mean, you know, those days when you're losing your mind, you're frustrated, you walk into a supermarket just because you need something to eat, right? And somebody's wearing a band t-shirt, somebody's got a Mets hat on, and it's like you just smile because it's like somebody else out there thinks like I do. And that, it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I applaud you guys for what you guys are doing. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, as long as everything works out with me with this eye thing and I'm not at work that day, I will definitely make the trip now.
Yeah. We appreciate
as far
it.
as I'm concerned, I live in all the way in Toronto, Canada. So
it's a bit of a hike for you, Cost.
Yeah, it is. So I will try my best to support you guys, and maybe we can connect on social media if you don't mind, and maybe I can promote it that way if you don't mind. I don't know if you're okay with that.
Bro, I would listen. I'm grateful for all the help. You just got to do me a favor and not tell Nickelback about all the nasty things I've ever said about you.
Okay. All right.
And actually, Lana, before we go, Nick, can you throw up the picture quickly of just the kind of the little advertisement we want to show for the event?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
There we go. There you go, guys. Hope Rocks. All right, Nick, you can take it down now because now you're blocking everybody's view.
So that day, in between all the special guests, and we got surprises, there will be a link to 94.3 The Shark on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter where you can donate. And anybody that just wants to check it out, you know, it's not going to be this big depressing thing. You know, hope is not something that's out of reach. Hope rocks. The music that we play, artists that are talking about it, you know, guys like you and I sharing our favorite songs. It's a celebration that we all made it.
And then one other thing I do want to mention, I have to actually applaud you also for something else. You played a song recently called For the Glory.
Yeah.
I never heard the song beforehand. That's also a song that I have on Spotify.
Rob does such a great job with this station. I mean, the cool thing about the Shark is we don't have the restraints. Like, he trusts me to do some of my own stuff, but like a lot of the things you hear, those surprises, those new songs, that's all him. And I mean, they were so supportive. Have you guys ever heard Chu's song?
Yes.
That was my music video, and I mean, they played the heck out of that. They didn't have to, and it worked. You know, we'll be playing it at Hope Rocks, and a lot of the stuff that you hear on the Shark, you can't hear anywhere else, and I'm proud of that.
No, and the one thing I've always said, living on Long Island for as long as I've been around, and as long as the Shark's been around for, I mean, there's times when I'm at work and in the early morning at 5 a.m. and I have the Shark being played.
That's awesome. You could always call me for a request, brother. I get there usually around like 5:15.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I have to be at work tomorrow at 6 a.m.
On a Sunday?
Yep.
You're a warrior, brother.
Hey, it's for the glory.
Guys, are you on East Coast time in Toronto?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we're all on the same time. So
yeah,
we're all on the same time zone. Yep.
All right, cool. So before I bounce, man, I want you to tell me a little bit more about this show so that I could talk about it.
Basically, this show, I kind of came on board pretty recently.
Okay.
And we actually have some ideas that we're working out to try to bring the show to another level.
Okay.
To the point we're going to have a new name for the show, new music, everything, sponsors. So,
well, if I can help in any way, I would love to. And I got to add Brutus the Barber Beefcake's theme music and Rowdy Roddy Piper's theme music.
Absolutely.
To the list.
But Orlando, thank you so much.
You guys did the work, man. I can't thank you enough for inviting me. And let's do this again sometime, fellas.
You have an open door with this show.
Take care, guys.
Take care, Orlando.
Take care.
So, yes, folks, that was Orlando. Costa, what do you think?
Oh man, I think this was a great interview, and Orlando is a great individual. He does a lot of great things, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have an opportunity to have him back on the show again.
He literally just DM'd me.
Oh yeah,
saying thank you for coming on. So I will definitely say what he's doing with the Hope Rocks thing.
Yeah,
is amazing, and we will definitely promote that on our social media accounts as well.
Definitely, yes.
I'll get with the social media team to promote it big time. But let's keep it going because we still got some more to get to.
Okay.
I know it's 8:00 already, so we still have some more stuff to get to. Let's briefly talk about Bound for Glory.
Okay.
Bound for Glory happens in the next 2 hours.
Yep.
There has been some rumblings that a certain monster may be showing up.
Okay.
Now, who is that monster you're talking about? Who I am talking about? You'll have to wait and see. But if all reports are what they're saying, there may be a monster among men joining the Impact Wrestling tonight.
Yeah.
Quickly though, do you think we get a new Impact World Champion tonight?
To be honest, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that happens. Yes.
I wouldn't mind it for one reason. Josh Alexander can then put himself in the category of somebody who's become a superstar after being in a tag team.
Yep.
People forget he was part of the North.
Yes.
With what's his face? Ethan Page.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Also, we will see the debut tonight because it was spoiled beforehand of an iconic tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I talking about by this? The team of Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, also known as The Inspiration.
Right.
Will be taking on Rosemary and Havoc for the Impact Women's Knockout tag titles, I think it's called.
Yep.
Do you think they win the titles tonight?
I considering that they're the surprise. I think that they will end up winning it. Yeah.
And then I think as well. Realistically, you're bringing these two girls in. They're talented girls. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it just makes so much sense to have them win the belts.
Yeah, me too.
It would make so much sense. And then the other match I also want to get into is the Digital Media Championship. If I butchered that, please tell me that I butchered that.
I don't believe so.
You know what match I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
My prediction for that match, and if they don't do it, I think Impact is stupid. Chelsea Green.
Yep. I hope
not for nothing, but it's the digital media. And one thing you learned is digital media is social media.
Yes.
And who has a bigger Twitter and Instagram presence than she does?
Not very many people.
Crap, between her and her fiance there, her husband, I don't know if they got married yet, Matt Cardona, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't he have a title like early in his
the Internet Championship.
Was it the Fan Championship or something? I forgot the name of it, but
which one you talking about? Cardona?
Yeah, Cardona. Yeah.
He had the Internet.
Yeah, the Internet. Yeah, the Internet title. Yeah.
That he created, lost it to Effie, and then won it back.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Then the only other match I want to get to is the Knockouts title match happening between Deonna Purrazzo and the legend herself, Mickie James. Does the reign of Deonna continue, or does Mickie become your new Knockouts champion?
You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that Mickie obtains the title.
Well, hopefully it's a strong enough limb.
Yeah.
My prediction, I think Deonna wins. I think it continues her push as becoming one of the greatest women's champions in Impact history. Because not for nothing, here's my only thing. You have Deonna win. Obviously, I know there's this forbidden door as we've been seeing. Mickie James wins. Where do you go with that?
That's true.
Deonna wins, you can still elevate her and elevate that title.
Yeah.
Where you could potentially have a Savannah Evans win the belt, a Masha Slamovich win the belt. And realistically, I think it's going to be something that people are going to have to look out for. But yes, folks, that happens tonight at 10 o'clock. But before we get to that, you think that's enough for the wrestling talk, huh? Oh, no, folks. We also have AEW Dynamite, which actually happens right now. So that's why we're wrapping up the show in a few minutes.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes, Malachi Black 3.
Oh, that's going to be a banger.
My question for you is this. Do we see a different side of Cody?
I hope we do, because he needs a character revitalization, in my opinion.
Well, plain and simple. Let's just have Arn with a Glock and call it a day.
Sorry, repeat that. Sorry.
Let's just have Arn Anderson do the gift of him with the Glock.
yeah, exactly.
I just think realistically, you have that tonight. I know they also announced last night your TBS title match, the tournament to determine the TBS champion.
Yep.
I know we were saying before we don't think Thunder Rosa is going to win. Now I think she's going to win.
I think she's
because realistically, this is what I've been trying to say for a while. I know Jade Cargill is being poised to have a run, and I'm not saying she won't win the belt.
Yeah.
But she's still too green for me.
I know, me too. I was gonna say that too. She's still too green for me, and you can see that she kind of like struggles still in the.
But here's my thing: you put the belt on a Thunder Rosa, for example.
Yep.
You can have her go work Mission Pro with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
You can have her work other, and also it gives you name recognition.
Exactly.
Because realistically, I'm going to try to see quickly if I can pull up the rest of the brackets. We can just run through it quickly. But give me 1 second here. Hold on, I'm trying to.
Okay, take your time. No worries.
Yes, folks, this is what we call a brief commercial break. Yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dan.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Just on another note.
Yeah, fly, Eagles, fly right into a wall. Oh, wait, did I just say that? Fortunately, I'm a Giants fan, so.
Yeah, I understand the.
All right, here we go. Here's basically how the first round matches are looking. Ada J takes on Jamie Hayter. The Bunny takes on Red Velvet. Serena Deeb takes on Hikaru Shida. And Penelope Ford takes on Ruby Soho.
Wow.
You realize 3 out of 4 of those matches have a storyline built in already.
Yes.
Ada J and Jamie Hayter, they can play off what happened on Rampage last night. Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida can play off from their match a couple weeks ago. Penelope Ford and Ruby Soho have been going at it for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I mentioned, because there's another part to this, the first round will also see 4 buys. Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Chris Statlander.
Yep.
Realistically, I'll say this right now. If it even works out that way, I want to just see something before I make my okay. It wouldn't be able to happen because I was going to say I'd love to have Anna Jay take on Thunder Rosa, but if Anna Jay wins, she'll have Thunder Rosa in the next round.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say this right now. I think Thunder Rosa wins.
I agree with you. That's my take on it as well. Yeah, Thunder Rosa winning the.
Yeah, I think realistically, I said this on the show before. You have, to me, the women of AEW, the whole division itself, is not where it should be.
I agree.
And the fact that you already have a second title for it, I think is ridiculous.
I know that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
But quick programming note: stay tuned to our social media constantly. Actually, before I get to that constant, do you have anything else you want to get to?
That's about it, I guess. In terms of AEW and entire wrestling world, that's about it. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, quick programming note. Next week, stay tuned to our social media accounts. We will keep you posted if there is going to be a show. If there is, I don't know who will be on, per se. I know for a fact I won't be on because I'm having an eye procedure done next Friday.
Okay.
So I won't be on, but we'll talk offline about that.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, stay tuned to our social media accounts because, like we said before, there will be some changes going on.
Yep.
For the good, not for the bad.
For the good.
Or as we like to say, for the glory.
For the glory, yeah, exactly. For the glory.
And so we have that. Nick, if you don't mind, can you just shoot up the picture one more time of the Hope Rocks thing? Folks, hold on. There's got to be a way we can do this where my head doesn't get blocked off by it. But folks, yes, the ad you're seeing right now is for Hope Rocks happening November 13th. If you live on Long Island, definitely recommend you going. Like I said tonight, I will try to see if I can get there. It's happening right by me, actually. So, okay, Nick, you can take that down now. Thank you. But yeah, guys, this show has been blessed tonight. I know we were kind of light on crew tonight, so to speak. But Costa, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm just excited about where wrestling is heading. And like Orlando said, it's great that we have different options when it comes to wrestling now. So there's a lot of things to keep tabs on and a lot of things that will happen in the future in terms of the wrestling world. So I'm excited for that. It's a blast for me to be here. So thank you for having me. Thank everyone for having me as a host. And I will continue to bring my thoughts and my ideas to the show and help all of us strive for greatness and eventually get there. So
as long as you don't say anything bad about Nickelback, we'll be okay.
Nah, we're good. We're good.
I want to thank Orlando for joining us tonight. It was a blast to have him on. I don't think it'll be the last time you hear him on our show. I want to thank Nick for producing tonight, kind of last minute type of thing. Costa, I want to thank you as well for hopping on tonight.
It's been a pleasure, boss.
And for Costa, for Nick, for Orlando, I'm John. In the words of Billy Joel, life's a set of hellos and goodbyes. Unfortunately, it is time for us to say goodbye. Again, stay locked into our social media accounts for all updates with the show.
Yes, sir.
Variety Sports Network.